Masterchef Ireland is one step closer to finding a new champion.
You are our finalist.
These three amateur cooks have proved themselves to be amongst the best in the country.
Your final journey starts in South Africa.
Tonight, they will experience the riches of the Franschhoek wine region, followed by the urban buzz of Cape Town. The first round will take place at two world-renowned restaurants, where the finalists will face the cooking challenge of a lifetime, South Africa style.
I was born in Zambia. I've always wanted to go back, and I can't believe that I'm doing it as part of MasterChef.
In just 2 weeks' time, one of these women will emerge as MasterChef Champion 2014. Adele lives in Kildare with her husband Brian and their two daughters. And the MasterChef experience has proved to be an adventure that she was more than ready to take on.
For me, I think at this stage, I've been at home with the kids for 3.5, 4 years now. So choosing to go back to work is a big thing. And then when you're taking yourself away from your children, you want to make sure that it's something you really love. So MasterChef has been kind of the start, I suppose, the kickstart to that. And, you know, Brian was making fun of me the other night and he said, you know, you couldn't just go and get a job. Like, you couldn't just go and interview for something. You had to go and do MasterChef. So, but I suppose that's me. Like, it's an all or nothing type thing, you know.
It just seemed right. I mean, you can always find reasons why you can't do things because you're busy and your life is hectic. But I think it was just couldn't let this opportunity pass. You're seeing how much she loves food, how much she loves getting it right.
It kind of feels like right place and right time for me at the moment.
Hungarian-born Diana lives in Court McSherry, where her boyfriend Mike grew up. They both work in the hospitality industry and have a shared passion for food and all things West Cork.
It's not so different from being a child in Hungary. It's very similar idea, the nature and quiet and peaceful and fresh air. It's a very rural place, so everybody knows each other, everybody salutes on the road, and I love this. To win MasterChef would be just an absolute, really a platform to start up our own little business down here, and finally we could do what we really want to do with our talents and with our experience and our passion.
It would mean everything to her to win, and she's able for it, and she has so much passion about it. Once she explains a dish, you kind of almost can see it in front of you, you know.
Cheers for the MasterChef dream.
To the final.
I will give it my best shot, and I will put my heart on the plate, and I feel deep down inside I have a lot more to give still. So I'm gonna show that in the final.
Home for Niamh is County Roscommon, on the farm with her husband Adrian and their 3 children.
I think that if I hadn't been a mother, I wouldn't have necessarily applied for MasterChef, because it's very important to me that my children have certain values in life. One, that you don't quit at things and you take a risk, but also that don't be afraid to stand out from the crowd. Being a MasterChef, they're going to see their mammy on the telly doing lots of very strange things. I'm sure they'll be as embarrassed as anything. I also think they'll be very proud. But I think there's so many things that they will see that I went through, and I think they will bring that forward in their lives.
Her first passion has always been cookery. Now she's in the final and we're very proud of her. And it's just been one incredible journey for her.
Is this like MasterChef team?
It is, but it's not stressful. Okay, you can be Nick.
But for Adele, Diana and Niamh, the quest to win MasterChef begins far from home, on a new continent.
The last time I was on African soil was when I was about 7, 8 years old, and we were coming back to Ireland. I've always wanted to go back, but I never had the opportunity. And now I am, as part of the MasterChef final. And I'm thrilled beyond belief.
Over the next 48 hours, Niamh, Diana and Adele will experience the diverse and exotic cuisine of South Africa, beginning in Franschhoek, at a restaurant highly regarded all over the world, the Tasting Room.
First impressions of South Africa, high peaks, blue skies. It was just amazing, really.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to the Tasting Rooms. This is South Africa's most celebrated fine dining restaurant.
The tasting room is named the 53rd best restaurant in the San Pellegrino Guide. It is home to an award-winning chef and her unique African-inspired tasting menu. Ladies, Maho Jansa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to our beautiful French hook. Today I'd like to take you on a journey into my world and introduce you to our amazing, inspiring and indigenous ingredients.
Okay, guys, so you're going to take all that you learned from Marho this morning and create a dish of your own that you will present to the three of us.
The very best of luck.
Thank you.
We were really excited when we pulled up outside and we realised where we were and that we'd be meeting Margot, and I suppose it's quite special for us to meet a female chef, so that's quite exciting. And we've all heard about the restaurant and we know about her food, so we'll learn a lot today, I think.
I think in South Africa there are so many different cultures that it's very difficult to say what is typical South African food. I was 20 when I left Holland, and when I came here, I think I looked at things with different eyes than if you grow up here. And for me, South African food is determined by the ingredients. Welcome to my kitchen.
Thank you.
I believe what we have here is extremely special. I believe to complete the picture of our beautiful country and the amazing people, I think you need to eat what's from here. And so I thought it would be a great idea to introduce you to all of this. And then you can choose some of these ingredients to cook with, clearly. I never went to culinary school, so I've really sort of followed my own path with lots of mentors, lots of traveling, lots of research. And more and more, I came across things here that I'd never seen before.
Wow. You get a certain waft of it, yeah.
It can be quite overpowering very quickly, but it's also great with fruit, it's great with chocolate. I think the contestants have, on the one hand, an amazing task today, but also daunting. This is African garlic. And when I open it, you'll understand why it's closed.
Whoa!
It's going to be tricky to cook with things that you have never cooked with. I mean, you can taste it quickly, but what happens when you apply heat or when you start cooking or blending, you know, it's going to be very interesting.
I had a really good feeling of Margot. She's a lovely person. She's a self-taught chef, which is making me believe that one day I could be somebody like her.
Wow. It's got a fragrance, it's got a smell. The food in Africa has got soul, you know? I really hope they're going to try and cook some of the things that intrigue them. And I think as a chef, you have to be daring. It must be a little bit daunting because a lot of it you don't know.
I don't know what to do with it, really.
But you must have a pretty decent knowledge of food if the three of you are standing here. So it's about following your instinct.
Yeah.
I also didn't know.
Good luck.
In this 2-hour challenge, the finalists are working in new surroundings with many unfamiliar ingredients. All they have to rely on are their palates and the instinct that has brought them this far in the competition.
They're not the final three for nothing.
Yep.
Now it's trusting your intuition. There's something on the line today, so...
There's a lot on the line today.
Yeah, so they must do something. If you go just safe, that's not what I'm looking for.
It's a mountain for a professional alone, but for an amateur, it's...
No, I've been
10
thinking,
times
I'm actually quite glad I'm not in their shoes.
I haven't cooked any of these things before, so I'm not confident at all.
We're going to have to rely on our own sense of judgment and who we are really as cooks.
You think that you know so much, but you realize when you come across ingredients that you never actually tasted before, that you just have to take it slow and take it easy and just keep tasting them and figure out what combination will go where. So that's what I'm doing.
So, Adele,
Yes.
tell us.
I took the unpronounceable fish.
Kabeljau.
Kabeljau. So I took that and some corn. So I'm going to make a polenta.
Right.
I have some things that I've tasted and I think will work with it, but I don't know the names of.
Bochu.
Yes. Yes. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do that. I thought I might be brave and put it in the stock first and then remove it and use that to cook the polenta just to, so it's not too overpowering because I don't want to kill the lovely fish.
Well, good luck, Adele.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck.
You sound like you think I really need it.
What meat have you chosen? Say again.
This is the loin of the, sorry now, the heart beast. Yeah, beast.
Heart beast.
Heart beast, yeah.
So, okay, so tell us what you've got in the bag.
It's basically onions, leeks, some carrots. So what I'm gonna try to do is to add liquid to it, and I vacuum pack it and I leave it alone for marinating a little while. I'm gonna slice it thin. I'm gonna make a white risotto. I'm hoping that it's something like venison, like lean and gamey.
Right.
It's very exciting. I'm just trying to use the instinct or what I actually have in my mind, and then I go with the little wild choices as well, you know.
Fresh, wild ingredients are commonplace in this kitchen, but the challenge is for the finalists to show that they have the skills to adapt to any culinary environment.
Hi, Neve.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. So, tell us, what have you chosen?
I've chosen the wildebeest, and I'm going to treat it quite carefully. I want to keep what I imagine is quite a subtle taste to still come through. So I'm not going to faff around with it too much. And I am completely intrigued by this. So I don't know how you treat it. I think pan fry it gently.
I've never cooked with it. It's, it's actually the plant.
It's off the table. It's off the table.
It's the plant of the...
From the restaurant.
And there was a nice sort of houseplant there as decoration. And of course I ate the leaves and went, I could make an interesting vegetable out of this. Is it safe to eat?
You will let us know in about 20 minutes, I reckon.
But it could have tasted good.
In spite of Niamh mistaking the decorations for garnish, our three finalists have managed to convince the judges that they will find their way through this challenge.
I can see them all using instinct.
Yeah.
And they all do have a good cooking instinct, there's no doubt.
I think if you are presented with ingredients that you've never cooked with, I think you have to start with an idea and constantly assess and adjust, assess and adjust, assess and adjust. And what you end up with could be completely different than what your initial idea is.
It's baby steps.
Yeah.
The MasterChef final is underway. From now on, every single detail is crucial.
I'm feeling like I should be nervous, but then, like any time in the competition where I've trusted my gut instinct, it's when I got really great comments. So I'm thinking if that's what they like, if they like what I do and what's natural to me, well then that's what I have to keep going with.
As the Taste of Africa challenge enters the last 15 minutes, any mistake now could spell disaster for these amateur cooks.
I want to actually see if someone who's essentially a home cook is able to be adventurous when suddenly presented with strange ingredients. It's a challenge to myself as much as a competition against other people.
I'm nervous about cooking for her. She will know if it's a minute overcooked or if it's a minute under, but I'm just trying to infuse as much flavor and give a bit of myself in the dish, so.
Still to come.
I'll be devastated if they hate it. Either your gut is right or it's wrong.
I like it.
It's delicious. I can't remember the last time I loved a task as much as this.
The final countdown to finding the MasterChef champion 2014 has begun. Our three finalists are in South Africa, where they've been tasked to create a fine dining experience using exotic wild ingredients that they have never encountered before. The results will be tasted by one of the country's most highly regarded chefs, Marjo Jansen.
If I can eat their food and taste Africa and get the essence of what I'm trying to do, then I'm going to be very impressed.
When you are in a strange country, strange kitchen, completely unknown ingredients, it's definitely pressurized. I'm hoping that it all comes together at the end.
I'll be devastated if they hate it. Either your gut is right or it's wrong.
Such an interesting thing to ask of them, to really just question what does something taste like and whether or not it will belong in this place.
I can't really talk right now. It's very important. Either it's right or it's wrong. There's no middle ground, so I'm going to take it out now.
Okay, Niamh. That looks like a very happy plate. You're going to tell us what it has become.
Okay, I chose the wildebeest, and I guessed that it would be quite a subtle flavour. So I decided that I wanted something tangy with it, but that wouldn't fight with the subtlety of the meat. So I love Cape gooseberries. I grow them at home. They're one of the few things that I can grow that's sort of a little bit exotic. And so I made a little sauce out of them, and then I made a raisin sauce just to sort of have that contrast of sweetness but acidic and vinegary sort of tastes. And then I decided I'd do an onion puree.
I like that tart and that sweet. I think that's great. I love the freshness of it. I think it works with the wildebeest, definitely. And it's the richness of the onion. It's a lovely balance with the gooseberry and that sweetness of the raisin. I think these could maybe have had a little bit more of a dressing.
Okay.
And I think the wildebeest could have rested a little bit longer.
Okay.
I think you're trying to stay to some familiarity of what you know. It's nice, but it's kind of sweet and sour, and it's kind of safe.
Yeah. Wish I could be braver.
Yeah.
This was today, was to prove that.
I know. To me, I felt I was being brave because it was so unfamiliar.
It was a day to experiment.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
It's very good, though. It's very good for dealing with those ingredients for the first
But you know,
day.
sometimes fortune favours the brave, and there's something, I always wish I was the type of person who could just go, come on, just whip off the clothes and run naked down the street or something, and have that mentality. Okay, perhaps that's a weird one, but have that mentality.
Your caution is more important than what you're talking about. I think what you're talking about is reckless, and I don't think that's the answer. But a good day's work, Niamh. Really good day's work. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You are solely relying on your instinct today. So you have to go back to basics and just remember that why I'm cooking and why I love cooking and how it all started. And I had to go back to that.
All right, Anna. So, tell us.
Basically the corn risotto. And then I just took off some kernels from the fresh corn as well. I have a little artichoke puree underneath the meat, and I have just a couple of slices of the roasted artichoke I left in whole.
And is there sauce? What is the?
Pen juice is just the resting juices from the meat.
It's got a lovely fragrance. Did you use the wild garlic in here?
I used the wild garlic when I was roasting my little Jerusalem artichokes in the oven.
I like it. I think your combination of flavors with the Jerusalem artichoke, which is earthy, and my first bite, I thought, what is that? What is that flavor? And it's that garlic. And the garlic has that hecticness is cooked out. So it's left a very fragrant flavor. So it's not just garlic. It's different. And your meat is beautifully cooked. Well done.
It's delicious. Delicious. Really is, I have to say, because you get textures, you got flavour, the lovely dish. I would love to finish that now.
I think the biggest thing that's come out of today is that I know the difference between being inspired and being truly inspired, and I think that Margot has really, really, really inspired you.
True.
Maybe it's as a female, I'm unsure, but I think today you've definitely said you're going to cook from the heart. Yes. And you're going to stand your ground and you're going to cook what you want to cook, and it's often a certain kitchen that just makes sense. I think that that's what you've experienced today, and I've experienced that in my career. So I love your plate of food, we all do.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I love what's happened to you today.
I felt like I was taken apart, throughout this competition, and today I felt like something came back in and kind of on a different level. I'm very happy.
We're very
Thank
happy.
you. Yeah.
You've produced a beautiful plate of food out of
Thank you.
that sings.
Thanks very much.
Well done.
I got back my mojo, I think.
Wow, Adele, tell us.
I have cooked the unpronounceable fish, and I made some polenta with lemon and boohoo powder. and I made the corn with some pomegranate, and I used the Nara oil in the dressing and some of the garnish of the lovely indigenous unpronounceable vegetables.
The waterbloemetjes.
Exactly, that one. That would be it.
That'll be them.
That would be the one.
I can definitely taste Africa.
Okay.
And I like the acidity in the corn. I like the crunch of the corn. I think your fish is cooked very nice.
Thank you.
The only thing for me is that the fish is a very soft fish.
Okay.
And obviously the mealie meal is a soft mealie meal, so they sort of sink into each other.
Yeah.
But I do like the way you have also listened to an intuition of what to put together.
I can't remember the last time I loved a task as much as this, because it really is about taking ingredients that you're looking at for the first time, trying to understand them as quickly as you can. I do think the dish needs a little bit of work, but I do think that you've displayed that you do understand balance. And that, for me, was the whole point of today. So I'm impressed, genuinely, Adele. Yeah, great day's work.
You're trying to show that you're listening and that you're learning, but that you're cooking your style of food as well, but bringing other influences into it. So it's difficult. It is difficult.
Few cooks have ever faced a challenge like this. A long way from home, in a strange kitchen with ingredients they'd never seen before. Time for Nick and Dylan to get feedback from Marho.
Was the best plate of food today the most African plate of food?
Not for me. I love Diana's dish because it just made sense. It made sense. Adele's plate, when it came out, I thought, oh no, now we have competition. And I think it's great what she all did, but I think the marriage of it all together was not as good as Diana's. I wouldn't have taken anything off Diana's plate.
Did it feel African?
Yeah, it did feel African. The corn, the dried corn, is very African. That African garlic, I mean, I haven't used it in my kitchen for a long time because it's so pungent and it just, I mean, everything smells of it. But when I tasted it now again, I thought, yep, that's why I used to like it now.
It was an excellent task, and it was brilliant to watch, and it was brilliant to watch your influence over them today. It was most intriguing, so thank you very much.
Thank you. It was great fun. I loved it. It was great.
This is like going to heaven and then being catapulted into nirvana. I've never had as much fun doing something that I just love so, so much.
Today just made me feel really so much stronger about stay true to who you are and cook with instinct and love.
No idea what the next South African challenge will be, but if it's half as good as today, I'll be a very happy girl.
Next time on Masterchef Ireland.
The girls are kind of neck and neck, and they've been like that for a while, and I think that's why they're bonded.
Check on 3 tuna, 3 scallop, 3 pork.
They've all come together. I knew it'd happen.
These are the kind of dishes I would expect from high-quality, well-trained, well-experienced chefs.